It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Penn State Associate Men's Basketball Head Coach, Keith Urgo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Brandon. Thank you for having me on, buddy.
Can you talk about your coaching experience and how you got started in college coaching?
Yeah, well, it's a long story, but I'll give you a short version anyway. I've been involved in basketball pretty much my entire life. Starting freshman year in high school, my summer job had always been basketball camp. So I was a camp counselor from my freshman year pretty much through, always through my senior year until I actually had a chance. I played basketball and lacrosse at Gonzaga High School in DC. Then I went on to play basketball and lacrosse at Fairfield University in Connecticut. My summer job was always basketball. I was always coaching, always loved working with kids. I loved teaching the game, developing relationships. And I had the opportunity this summer of between my junior and senior year in college to get involved with a program called Peace Players International. At the time, it was Playing for Peace. Now it's Peace Players International with two of my closest friends that had me travel all the way to South Africa. And while I was there, we were working with kids from townships and the Indian population, the white population, and obviously the Black population. And the idea behind the nonprofit organization that has since become a global organization was to use sports as a bridge of conflict resolution, using specifically basketball as a means of conflict resolution to bring kids together between the ages of about 6 and 15. But as a result, I fell in love with it then, finished my final year at Fairfield, and then moved to Northern Ireland to continue developing the program there for about a year and a half. And at that stage, it's time for me to move back to the States. And I had a couple of different jobs, but all while wanting to coach basketball. So I got an opportunity to become the freshman basketball coach at Gonzaga, my alma mater in DC. Fell in love with it. Started teaching at an inner city school, and after a year of freshman head coach, the varsity head coach Steve Turner is a very good close friend of mine. Asked me to work with him on the varsity. Did that for about 4 years, and throughout that 4 years, I met a number of college coaches, and I made the decision that I wanted to become a college basketball coach. And as a result, every fall I'd take a trip by myself, use my connections through basketball, either through playing or coaching or whoever the relationships that I had. And each year I would take a trip on my own. I'd leave Thursday till Sunday. So one time I went down to North Carolina, I got into practices at Carolina, Duke, and Wake Forest, and learned and talked with a ton of assistants and just tried to network as much as possible. And then the following year, I did the same thing. I went up to Philadelphia, hit LaSalle, Temple, and the last school I visited was Villanova. And when I was at Villanova watching practice, their director of operations, which I did not know at the time, was Jason Donnelly. And Jason Donnelly was an individual throughout my high school and college days that I worked a number of basketball camps, summer camps with, when he was a high school coach at O'Connell, which is an arch rival of Gonzaga, where I was coaching. So we had a relationship. And at that time, while I was watching practice, he asked me, do you have any interest in getting college basketball? I said, yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing. I'd like to network as much as possible. Now I was 27, 28 at this period, which is difficult to get involved in the game. Well, that conversation ended up about, several months later, benefiting myself, because Jason called Steve Turner, the head coach of Gonzaga, said, would Urgo be interested? We have an opportunity as a video coordinator internship in 2007, 2008. It was an internship where you lived in a dorm. I had just gotten married, but I said, this is my opportunity. I got to take advantage of it. So I went up for an interview. They called me on a Wednesday, went up on Friday, got the job by Monday. Left my wife in Silver Spring, Maryland, where she was a photographer, and I moved up to Villanova, stayed in a dorm room, did the internship for a year, which is now a full paid position. pretty good money in that position now. And fortunately, the rest is history. I got lucky where the first guy I ever met was Pat Chambers. On my interview, I walked into the office, met him outside. He was the baby at 12. I'm 1 at 10. We hit it off right off the bat. And while working together for 2 years at Villanova, 2007, 2008, 2009, we became very close. And in 2009, after a year of the video coordinator position, I got bumped up, right time, right place. Brett Gunning, the associate head coach at the time, got a job with the Houston Rockets late in August. So they bumped everybody up. Jay Wright did, and I became the director of ops. That year, 2009, as the director of ops, we went to the Final Four, and Pat Chambers was the associate head coach. And after the Final Four, he got the job at Boston University, and Jay Wright held me on as an assistant at Villanova for 2 years while Pat Chambers was at BU. At the end of that, Pat Chambers became the head coach at Penn State, and the rest is kind of history. I started at Penn State a week after Pat Chambers got the job. The reason behind that was everybody's like, why'd you leave Villanova? Well, things were happening at Villanova that were a little bit different at that time, and I wanted to become a head coach. And in order for me to learn how to run a program, by the time I got to Villanova, everything was we were Sweet 16 the first year, Final Four the next year. It was Jay Wright had already been through the most difficult years of his tenure, building the program to where I got to reap the benefits of all the hard work and dedication a number of other staff members had put in. I wanted to learn how to build something from scratch. Penn State and Pat Chambers gave me that opportunity because we really just started to build our brand and our culture from scratch. And in order for me to hopefully one day become a head coach and be successful, I felt the need to really want to know how to start a program, continue to develop it, and make it sustainable. And that gave me the best opportunity to do that. And 10 years later, I'm the associate head coach. I became the associate head coach after 3 years with Pat Chambers. And I've learned an incredible amount. And there's no doubt in my mind now that I pretty much have all the tools necessary to run a program if I do get the opportunity someday. So that's kind of maybe it's longer than I anticipated, but to me, that's the short version.
That's wonderful. Can you talk about what you've accomplished so far at Penn State?
Well, it's been interesting. I think we've accomplished a lot. Some people might not think we have. We took Penn State. We've broken a lot of records at Penn State. I don't have them in front of me, but, for instance, our junior class right now, the most wins in a 3-year span. Well, they're seniors now, but 61 wins in 3 years for our current seniors. They broke the 3-year record at Penn State. They have a chance to break Lamar Stevens and Mike Watkins' 4-year record at 71, I believe, this year of all-time wins in a 4-year span for student athletes at Penn State of men's basketball. So, there's a number of other records that we've broken since there. And obviously last year we became top 10 ranking. We were number 9th in the country for a good period of time. We were poised to make a serious run in the Big Ten tournament. We were guaranteed a selection in the NCAA tournament, and we could have gotten, we believe we could have gotten pretty far, but, we just feel like we've built something that means a lot. We've developed a number of professional basketball players in the NBA and overseas over our tenure at Penn State. We have over a 95% graduation rate with 4-year players, which to us is the most important thing. The relationships that I've developed with all of our student athletes is their lifelong relationships and really what I cherish the most. So we've accomplished a lot. We still have a lot left to do. Unfortunately, we're in a different situation right now. It's just another opportunity to learn and grow from, with Pat Chambers not being the head coach anymore and the uncertainty of this year and next. But again, it's another opportunity for us to continue to learn and grow, and just another chapter in my journey.
Can you talk about what you've took from Villanova and Gonzaga to move on to Penn State?
Yeah, you know what? There's a couple of different things. Obviously, Gonzaga, to me, not only did I have an opportunity to go play there, graduate from there, but also have a chance to coach there later on. And to me, a lot of my values come from my time at Gonzaga. Dick Myers is a famed legend in the DC metropolitan area that I played for, that I respect. And Steve Turner's done a tremendous job replacing him, who I work for, and has become a very close friend and confidant of myself. So I've learned a number of things through both of those individuals and Gonzaga basketball. I mean, arguably the toughest conference in the country, Washington Catholic Athletic Conference. So the level of basketball, level of coaching is as good as it gets from a high school standpoint. And Villanova speaks for itself. Jay Wright, in my mind, is the best basketball mentor in the country. Not just a coach; he's more of a mentor. I learned so much from him and my time at Villanova, how to run a program, how to sustain a successful program. But most importantly, I learned, this business and coaching really is about relationships. It's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmy and Joe's, as Jay Wright always states. And, he really puts the onus on the players and understanding that, your coaches are very good, no question about it. They make a big impact, but the reality is the players are what makes a program. The players are who wins games, and understanding and if you develop strong and incredible relationships with those individuals, then the basketball piece will take care of itself. Don't worry about wins and losses on the court. Worry about wins and losses in life with your players. And if you do that, and you develop authentic relationships that are going to last a lifetime, typically it turns out to be successful on the court. Because all those kids, they're recruited at that level for a reason. They're talented basketball players. So I've learned a lot in different ways, both basketball and certainly off the court from both of those places.
What was it like coaching at your alma mater?
Pretty neat, actually. There's a sense of pride that comes from coaching at a place where you spent so much time, and it had such a major impact on my life, both socially, academically, and professionally. So it's an incredible opportunity to go back, and the sense of pride you have with the place that kind of shaped and molded you and your values and who you are as a man. It's pretty unique and something very special, and I cherish for sure.
Can you talk about the recruitment process at Penn State?
Yeah, you know what? Over the time, for us, it was all about recruiting the right type of individual that fits, our system, fits our lifestyle. And the most important thing is not just about the player, it's about the families. And again, it's about the relationships for the next 40 to 50 years of your life. It's not going to be the next 2 to 3 or even 4. And we try to make sure that over a period of time, we develop really strong, unique, and authentic relationships with our recruits and our players. And the honesty is the best policy. And some guys don't like that. Some guys do. But trust is very important when you're recruiting. And when they arrive on campus, they know exactly what they're going to get from both our staff and our university. And specifically at Penn State, it's got the largest living alumni association in the world, over 750,000 breathing, paying alumni. So it's a pretty remarkable place, and it sells itself. But we really want to recruit individuals that understand that college basketball, at least playing for us and our program, is a holistic approach. You got to take care of yourself, both in the classroom and kind of in the community, and then everything else will take care of itself on the court.
Can you talk about the culture that you have helped build at Penn State?
Yeah, the culture is pretty much everything. The culture that we have, and fortunately we have some tremendous culture carriers, as we call them, in our senior class. And we've had a couple here. Lamar Stevens was tremendous, obviously. We've had a number of leaders over the years, but the culture is such that now our guys really take pride in, and it's understanding that, a Penn State basketball player is not just a basketball player. He's a man. He's going to be a great father, great husband. We have to have an attitude of gratitude, as we call it. And it's something really impressive. And our guys take a lot of pride in being part of our program, both on and off the court.
When it comes to the official visit, do they get to try on the jerseys?
Yeah, they do. We do some photo shoots, both unofficial and official visits. And as a result, a lot of them get into the uniform and get pictures taken with their families and things in the uniform. And The kids absolutely, they love that, and Penn State being a high-ranking Nike school, we have a number of different uniforms: gray, pink, or black and pink, white, traditional white, blue. So we have a number, and they get to try on their number and whatever color they want to try on. So it's kind of an exciting time for a kid in high school to be able to do something like that.
Who are the teams that you play in your conference?
The teams that we play in our conference, the Big Ten Conference. So I got 4 children. This is the youngest of the 4. This is Sydney. So she's my teammate for the day. Well, we play all the Big Ten schools. So, the Indianas, the Michigan States, the Marylands, the Michigans, the Rutgers, the Illinois, the Northwesterns, Minnesota, Nebraska. So Rutgers. So I don't know if I got them all. I think I did. But if I missed any, you can let me know. But, there's 14 teams. We play 13 different teams in the Big Ten Conference. So this year, best in the country.
What advice would you give upcoming high school athletes looking to play in college?
You know what? Just continue. Just understand that, everybody's got a different path. Just continue to work hard. Put your mind. You got to work to get what you want. Nothing's going to be handed to you. And if it doesn't happen right away, just continue to pound the pavement, continue to work both on and off in the court. Make sure you take care of your grades and just have a positive attitude and just believe that everybody's got a path, right? So some could be quicker, some could take a little bit longer, whether or not it's a prep school route, the junior college route. If it's something you want to do and you want to play college sports, specifically basketball, don't give up on your dream. Continue to work as hard as you possibly can, and believe in yourself, and hopefully it works out for you.
That's great advice. What advice would you give upcoming coaches looking to get into the industry?
Almost the same thing I'd say to the players, but work. You got to network as much as possible. Don't think any job is beneath you. It's network as much as possible, similar to what you do, Brandon. Reach out to people. If you don't hear back, don't get discouraged. Continue to reach out to people. Maybe you send 100 messages out and you only get one response, but that one response, that could change your life. It could be an incredible network, or it could open a door for you that you just never believed could open. You just got to continue to believe in yourself. This is truly what you want to do. You got to be willing to make sacrifices like any other dream. And it could take longer, it could be quick. You never know, but believe in yourself, continue to work, but you got to network, and don't think anything's going to be handed to you. It's there's only 57 Division I schools. So the jobs are limited. They're limited. People think there's a lot of jobs out there. There really aren't in this profession. So you just got to continue to pound the pavement and believe that over time, your patience and your hard work, it'll pay off.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with Penn State program at?
Well, they can find me and Penn State both on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I'm more of a follower. I don't really post too much. I might retweet and like, but I'm on all those. I can't even tell you my handles, honestly, but I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as Penn State men's basketball. So you can find us out there. We're constantly pumping information, mostly about our guys and our program.
That's wonderful. Thank you again, Keith, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at Penn State.
I appreciate it, Brandon. Thanks so much, and stay healthy, buddy.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Keith, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.